Here I am prepping the motor for cleanup and painting. Used to tape up a lot of cars when I worked in the body shop. That guys, let me go out there and get my dog out of a dog fight. What you doing, Patch? I'm busy. I don't have time right now. Okay? I don't have time right now. I'll get you a treat in a few minutes. Love you, buddy. Love you. I'll get you a treat in a few minutes. Yep, there we go. There you go. And get out. I'm going to be painting, so I know you don't want to be in here for that. I'm gonna let you guys sleep till I get this ready to paint. Okay, I've got it scrubbed down with the wire brush. Got the loose paint off of it. Got the oxide off of it for the most part. Now I'm going to spray it down with a solvent to actually, it's one of the best I've found for this is mass airflow cleaner. Leaves no residue, but it will take the any dust or oxide or anything that's still on the surface off of there. Like in doing body work, the last thing we used to do before we painted the car was to go over it with fast dry enamel thinner to clean any residue that left off that might still be on it. And then we would go over it with a tack cloth, which is not necessary in this situation, but it was for automotive painting. Now, since I'm working outside and it's cold out here, before I do any painting, I'm going to warm this thing up like I did the other parts last night, using a Sunbeam hairdryer that I got at CARM, which is the Knox Area Rescue Ministries here local. This is going to be noisy, so what I'm going to do is show you a few seconds of it, then turn you off and bring you back for a little bit when I start to paint it. Okay, I've got it up to a decent temperature now. It's warm, not hot. And I was also warming the paint at the same time. Trying to figure out a good way for y'all to see this. I'm going to turn it around and get the bottom side over on the other side. Excuse me. That actually looks pretty good. It's got a decent Hammertone finish to it. Let's see if I can get you in closer. See that? I think that is all I'm going to do to that. I'm going to show you a little bit of prep work on this piece. This is how I prepped all the other large Yep, gonna have to replace the bearings on this Dremel. Let's see if I can find my... I was out here last night late. Sometimes when you're late in the shop doing things, you misplace things. Oh, here it is. Put it on a magnet so I wouldn't lose it. I remember that now. The one reason you don't ever push your mandrels all the way in on a Dremel is, even though you loosen it, sometimes they won't pull out. You have to push them in just a little bit to get that chuck out. And then it's easy to loosen. Now this side was not painted, on the other side. Not sure if I'm going to paint it or not. Okay. I was talking there, which y'all probably won't hear any of that when this is edited because it'll be too noisy. What I'm going to do, same thing I did with the other one, I'm going to heat this thing up. I'll bring you back when it's heated. One thing I wanted to show you guys, flip this over so I can see it, make sure it focuses, is you'll notice that the part number is cast into the part. Then on the outside, I don't know what that number is for, but it looks like 138. Kind of looks like 133 in the camera there, but it is 138. If you've ever watched Mr. Pete and others do casting, this casting kind of rough too, by the way. But anyway, things like that are extra that you have to do when you're putting numbers and stuff into a casting. Pardon me. Oh guys, I almost forgot a piece. Looked around to make sure I had everything. And by the way, I did clean these off with the solvent. But they're warmed up. And I noticed the switch plate laying there, and I'm like, whoops, can't forget that. Okay. I decided not to paint the inside. It would be fruitless. And this casting is so rough, I don't know if any Hammertone will show on it or not. Gentlemen, ladies, everybody above, that looks pretty good. I'm going to let it go at that. I've got all my parts for the motor painted now. When my bearings come in, Mr. Pete showed you how to put a set of bearings on a motor last Sunday. Yesterday, today's Monday. And one of the things is a 6202 bearing. It'll usually tell you it's a 15 millimeter by 35 millimeter by 11 millimeter. What they won't tell you is they also make a 6202 in a 16 millimeter internal diameter and a 5/8 internal diameter. And the shaft on the motor, I measured the bearing what are they called? My mind just went blank. Anyway, the part of the shaft where the bearing rides, the register on the shaft, I measured those, and it's a good thing I did, because yes, they were, the bearings that came out of there were numbered 6202, but that bearing shaft was 630 thousandths. A 15 millimeter was not going to go on there. A 5/8 is going to be a 5 thousandths pressed fit. But a 16 millimeter is going to be about a 1 thousandths pressed fit. So I'm going to try 16 millimeter first. If it feels like it's not on there tight enough, I'll pull them back off and put some 5/8 on there after I polish the shaft a little bit, because 5 thousandths is an awfully tight fit. Of course, I could get some dry ice and put on the shaft, and hopefully it'd slide on easier. But that's where we're at with the motor. Things are looking good. Be back later. Goodbye.